The bell rang, and the sound was soft, like a gentle tap on glass. Miss Clara Evans stood at the door with a warm smile. She said good morning to each student by name. She did this every day. It made the room feel safe. Her classroom was bright. Sunlight came through the big windows and fell across the desks. On the walls were short poems, tiny drawings, and thank you notes from old students. Near the board was a jar of colorful pencils that she bought with her own money. Above the board, in neat blue letters, a banner read, "Stories help us breathe." Clara loved those words. She believed them. She believed stories could hold us when life was heavy. She believed stories could heal. "Backpacks on hooks, friends," she said, "not the floor. The floor is for feet, not for tripping." A few kids giggled and moved their bags. She winked. "Thank you." She took attendance. She circled the room. She checked on a girl who was shy and did not speak much. She praised a boy who had tried a new word in his journal. She fixed a loose chair leg with a twist of her wrist. She had a little toolkit in her drawer. She kept bandages there too, and mints for upset tummies. Kids felt okay on her class because she noticed small things and cared about them. When everyone settled, she drew a simple mountain on the board. "Today," she said, "we climb this story mountain." She numbered the slope. Start, rising action, big trouble, bigger choice, ending that sticks. "Like gum," a kid said. "Like the truth," she said, smiling. The room was quiet in a good way. Pencils moved, minds woke up. Clara breathed in that quiet and felt grateful. Teaching did not make her rich. It made her steady. It gave her a reason to wake up and try again. Her life was small, yes, but it was full. "Miss Evans?" a voice asked from the second row. It was Evan Harper. Evan had soft brown hair and soft brown eyes. He likes to draw on the edges of his notebook. He was careful with lines. He shaded clouds and shoes and hands and faces. He was careful with words, too. "Yes, Evan?" "Is it okay if my story has pictures?" he asked. "It is more than okay," she said. "You think with your hands. Draw as you think. Then tell me what the pictures say." He nodded. He pushed his sleeve up. He began to sketch. Clara had a note on her desk for him. The note was about a writing contest for middle school students. The theme was, "The person who helped me grow." She planned to give it to him at the end of class. She could already see his entry. Small, strong lines, and a bright, honest heart. Before she could continue the lesson, the door opened. The principal, Mrs. Avery, stepped in. She had a tight smile and a tight bun. "Miss Evans, may I borrow Evan for a moment?" Clara nodded. "Of course." She looked at Evan. "You can finish in the office and bring it back." Evan stood, eyes low. He left with the principal. The door closed. The class watched the door for a beat. Then Clara clapped softly. "Eyes on the mountain, we climb together." They climbed. The class built little stories. A lost dog, a spilled secret, a mom who worked too late, a boy who lied and said he didn't care, but he did. When a child got stuck, Clara knelt and asked small, kind questions. What does your hero want? What stands in the way? What does it cost to win? By the end of the period, the mountain on the board looked like a map with many paths. The bell rang, kids packed up. Good work today. You made choices, you faced trouble, you're writers. A few kids stayed back to show her pages. She praised places where their words were true and clear. She gave them one simple tip each. Try a stronger verb here. Break this long sentence into two. Let the hero feel the wind. The next class flowed in. Clara kept moving. She tied a shoe. She calmed two boys who wanted the same seat. She wrote the date on the board in tidy numbers and placed a smiley face beside it. And each time the door opened, She half expected Evan to walk back in. He did not. At lunch, she sat with a yogurt and an apple in the teacher's lounge. It smelled like coffee and copy paper. A science teacher told a joke about a frog. A math teacher groaned about grading. Clara laughed along. She felt a little knot in her chest, but she told herself it was nothing. She would see Evan in the afternoon. Maybe he had a dentist appointment. Maybe the office needed a form. It was fine. Her phone buzzed with a text from her sister June. June, big storm tonight. Close your windows. Clara, thanks. My kids are the storm right now. June, you love storms. Clara, I love rain, not lightning. June, lightning is just loud sunshine. Clara, you're a poet. June, you taught me.
Clara smiled at the screen. She loved small messages like this. They were simple. They were true. She went back to class. The afternoon was quieter. It felt like the air had grown heavy before a rain. She could not shake the feeling. She wrote the homework on the board. 5 sentences about a time you told the truth when it was hard. Truth is a muscle, she told the class. We make it stronger when we use it. A few students made faces. Ew, muscles, one said. Do we have to? You do, she said, but only 5 sentences, short and clear, like a clean window. Let us see through. The last bell rang. Kids flooded the halls. Clara stacked books. She lined up notebooks to grade. She wiped the board with a soft cloth. She looked at the note for Evan. She wrote his name across the top in neat letters. She added a smiley face and a tiny mountain doodle. On her way out, she saw Mrs. Avery near the front desk. Did Evan come back? Clara asked. No, the principal said. He went home. Her face was hard to read. Everything okay? Family matter, the principal said. Have a good night, Miss Evans. Thank you, Clara said. The knot in her chest pulled tighter. She drove home along the coast road. The sky was gray over the water. Waves pushed and pulled. The storm that June had warned about was coming. Rain tapped on the windshield like fingers. She turned on the wipers. She hummed a tune from the morning's warm-up. Story mountain, story sky, tell the truth, don't let it lie. Her house was small and neat. A lamp in the window made a soft gold square on the lawn. She fed her cat, Pepper. She took off her shoes. She changed into a soft sweater. She sat at the kitchen table and opened her laptop. She began to log notes about the day. She liked to track which lessons worked and which ones needed help. She paused and wrote, Evan drew a boat with a broken oar. He asked if he could use pictures. I said yes. He smiled. She tapped the keys gently as if the words might break. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from June. June, want to come over for soup? Clara, rain check, lots to grade. June, haha, rain, check. Clara, you're impossible. June, you love me. Clara, I do. Clara graded until the numbers on the oven clock turned late. She stood, stretched, and walked to the window. The rain was stronger now. It moved in sheets. The streetlights made it look like silver strings. Her phone buzzed one more time. This time it was a name she did not expect. Doyle Harper. Her stomach dipped. She stared at the screen. Doyle was Evan's father. He was rich. He sat on the school board. He cared about trophies and test scores and his own name. He did not send teachers friendly texts. She opened the message. It was only a link. No words, just a link to a video on a platform she knew the kids used. The title said, Teacher hits boy in class, Willow Bay Middle. Her breath stopped. Her hand felt cold. She clicked. The video began with a jerk. The camera was from the back of a room. It looked like her room. The angle was wrong, but the posters were the same. The banner looked the same. The woman in the front looked like her. The sound was fuzzy. Kids' voices.
A chair scraped. Then, on the screen, the woman turned. The camera shook. There was a slap sound. The boy's face jerked to the side. Clara's heart pounded. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no!" She leaned close. She paused. She played it again, slower. The edges of the woman's arm looked wrong. The lines broke, then smoothed, like bad glue. The sound was a tiny bit late. It did not match the motion. She knew what this was. It was edited. It was fake. But would anyone else see that? Her head felt light. Her hands shook. She wanted to call the principal. She wanted to call June. She wanted to call the police. She wanted to throw her phone into the rain. She grabbed the counter and closed her eyes. She took a breath. Another breath. She opened her eyes and watched again. She paused, frame by frame. The banner twitched. The hand blurred too much. The boy's cheek did not redden. It was wrong. It was all wrong. Her phone buzzed again. New messages rolled in from unknown numbers. "Monster! How could you? I knew it!" Her throat closed. Tears filled her eyes. She wiped them with the back of her hand. She whispered to the empty room, "I would never hurt a child." Pepper rubbed against her leg and meowed. The sound was small and real. It kept her from falling. She opened a new window and searched for how to report fake video. She saved the link. She copied the video URL. She saved the page. She took screenshots. Her mind, trained by years of lesson plans, made a list. Step 1, save proof. Step 2, tell the principal. Step 3, stay calm. But her phone kept buzzing. The numbers kept coming. The storm outside shoved at the windows. She felt tiny in her kitchen, like a leaf pressed to glass. Near the end of the night, she clicked on the class roster. She found Evan's email. She typed, "Are you okay?" She stared at the words. She deleted them. She typed, "I saw something online. Please be safe. If you need help, I am here." She sent it. The message whooshed away. She shut the laptop. She pressed her palms to the cool metal. She spoke out loud, to God or to the rain or to the truth itself. "Please, please, let the truth hold." Viewer question. If you saw a fake video of you hurting someone, what would you do first? She picked up the note for Evan about the writing contest. She held it tight. She knew it mattered. It felt like a promise. Morning would come. She would go back to school and she would face this. But that morning, Evan didn't come to school. Why? Morning light filled the classroom again, but it didn't feel warm anymore. The air was heavy, like everyone was holding their breath. Miss Clara Evans stood at her desk, straightening papers that didn't need straightening. Whispers moved through the hall outside, short bursts, stops and starts. When the door opened, a few students peeked in and quickly looked away. Usually they smiled. Today, no one did. "Good morning," Clara said, forcing a smile. No one answered. The class sat down slowly. A few phones glowed under desks. Thumbs moved. Eyes flicked to her, then down. The air buzzed, not with talking, but with thinking and waiting. Clara drew a shaky line on the board. "Today we'll read..." Her voice trailed off. The line wobbled. "We'll read something brave." A hand went up in the back. "Miss Evans?" a boy said. "Is it true?" The room froze. Even the clock seemed to stop. Clara blinked. "True? What do you mean?" He hesitated, then mumbled, "About yesterday, with Evan." Her throat felt dry. "What about Evan?" He looked around. No one spoke. The room was full of eyes, but no voice wanted to be the first. Then, a girl in the front whispered, "My mom saw the video." Clara's stomach dropped. "Video?" The girl nodded quickly, scared. "It's all over TikTok." Clara felt her legs weaken. "There's a video of me?" Several students nodded. One said, "It looks like you hit him." Her heart pounded so loud she could barely hear her own words. "That's not true," she said softly. "I would never hurt a student." The class stayed silent. Someone's phone buzzed. A laugh escaped from the hallway. The sound hit her like a slap. At lunch, the teacher's lounge was quieter than usual. Conversations stopped when she walked in. Coffee cups clinked too loud. No one met her eyes. "Hi, Mrs. Parks," the science teacher. "Did you see?" Mrs. Parks stood. "Oh, I have a lab to set up." She left her sandwich half-eaten. Mr. Willis from math avoided her completely, walking out with his tray. Clara sat down alone. Her hands shook as she unwrapped her apple. She heard two teachers whispering near the copier. "Did you see it?" one said. "I don't know. It looked real." "They'll fire her for sure." Maybe she snapped. The paper tray slammed shut. Clara closed her eyes. When she opened them, the world felt blurry. She took her apple and left. The hallways seemed longer than usual. At the end, she saw the principal's door. The blinds were closed. She knocked. "Mrs. Avery, it's Clara." The door opened a crack. "Clara, yes, come in." The principal's office was neat. There was a smell of lemon cleaner. Mrs. Avery sat down behind the desk, folding her hands. "You've seen it." "Yes," Clara said. Her voice shook. "It's fake." "I hope you're right, but the board is calling an emergency meeting." "Already?" Mrs. Avery nodded. "Parents are angry. Doyle Harper has filed a formal complaint." "Doyle?" Clara said, stunned. "He knows me. He knows I'd never—" "He's demanding a suspension until an investigation finishes." "An investigation into what? A lie?" The principal looked tired. "It's not that simple. The video looks convincing. You should go home for now." Clara stood still. "If I leave, they'll think I'm guilty." Mrs. Avery looked away. "Sometimes it's best to stay quiet until things calm down." Clara stared at her. "But silence is a kind of guilt." The principal didn't answer. "Please, Clara, just go home."